we got some insight, and some unfortunate insight at that, on Jujutsu Kaisen's manga, and it seems as though Jujutsu Kaisen is unfortunately on the decline. Okay, people, before we get started, quickly, if you would hit that subscribe button and that bell to get notified. We drop new episodes of Forever News every Saturday, 12 p.m. EST, and throughout the week, we re-upload some segments for your viewing pleasure. Hit them buttons, and let's get into the story, shall we? Now, you're probably thinking, what do you mean on the decline, dog? Jujutsu Kaisen is doing fantastic. Well, we got a lot of analytics and insights to show that while Jujutsu Kaisen is still a massive seller, like, let's be very, very clear. I don't want nobody to say that I'm slandering Jujutsu Kaisen. I understand very well that 2 years ago it did 30 million in 1 year. Last year, 1 year ago, it did like 12 million in a year. It is a huge seller. It is the biggest selling manga back-to-back for 2 years in a row. However, what I've come to say is that, yeah, it had that, and yeah, it still sells very well, but it is 100% on the decline at this particular point. Let's take a look at the insights that we have so you guys can understand what I mean. Because as you can see in the beginning of this chart with volume 1, you see, just like any other Jump series, it starts off and it continues to grow. Volume 1 did okay. It did what? About maybe like 70,000 or something, 60,000 with the volume. Then you see as it continues, you got 300,000 accumulated, 1.5 million. And then you see, which is par for the course for any anime and manga situation, that by 2020, once the anime starts airing, it goes wild. Because again, in 2020, it's still progressively climbing. Once you get to volume 13, and season 1 begins, it goes astronomical. It goes from, like, let's say it looks about 350,000 or so to boom, 20 million in circulation, and that volume is over 1 million copies sold, which is freaking ridiculous. And it just continues to climb after that. Volume 15's bigger, volume 16's bigger, but we're seeing little by little inklings of, well, wait a minute, what just happened? Because by volume 17, that's where you're seeing the first decline in the series, which again, I want to be clear as well that a lot of Shonen Jump series, this is the formula for the most part. Most manga, that's the formula. They build, anime comes, they get a big huge boost, and then eventually they go down. But there are other series that have been exceptions to that rule. We've talked about with My Hero Academia that it has pretty much with every volume since the beginning increased in sales incrementally. Every volume is doing better than the last. There's been like maybe little tiny dips, but never has it been significant decrease to the point where it's like, oh, we're at that point now, we're at the tail end, it's gonna burn out. But with Jujutsu Kaisen, it looks like following the release of Jujutsu Kaisen Zero's movie, which you would ideally think like, okay, that is gonna make sales go astronomical, the volume sales continue to drop. The next one goes down, the next one goes down, and then by 21, it is pretty much getting close to doing just barely over what the manga did when it first started blowing up. So it's not necessarily a complete fall off, but if it continues with this trajectory, it's only a matter of time until we go back to where it all began with the sales of, like, volume 13 season 1, because we're slowly heading that way. And basically this is a demonstration that this is why the author of Jujutsu Kaisen, Gege Akutami, recently came out and said, yeah, we probably got like about a year left with this thing or something, because that is always the recipe for a series as well. It's like, okay, you're in the decline now, you're starting to go down, we ain't reaching those peaks of what we did during the like Jujutsu Kaisen Zero movie or during volume 16 or whatnot. Okay, yeah, let's start winding it down. So it also goes into the whole new formula that Shonen Jump has been working with of just get a big hit right now, don't worry about the end game. I think Shonen Jump's motto back in the day was sustain it for as long as possible. This one seems as though get as much as you can, as quickly as you can, and then it'll start to decline and we'll wrap that bad boy up. So it's going to be interesting to see the future of Jujutsu Kaisen, but I would throw the argument that the reason why there's probably a year left is because we're already heading in the decline, despite the fact of those massive years, because again, volumes 14 through 19 were all, magnificent, and it's still selling very well, but with the decline, it's only a matter of time before it'll inevitably end, because that's how things work with Shonen Jump. Series starts to decline, you gotta go. And I guess this is also a testament as well to see the impact that Shibuya had, because not only did the anime have impact, but we was in the Shibuya incident arc during a lot of this blowing up, and yeah, that helped massively. And imagine when that hits the anime, who knows, maybe it could sustain itself. But if considering Jujutsu Kaisen 0 movie, looking at this chart, didn't provide a giant boost like you would expect, it didn't increase in popularity, that makes me think that maybe season 2 won't have that big impact that you would ideally hope for, because if a movie couldn't do it, I'm not sure how well a TV anime could do it, because remember, now this is season 2 of the TV anime. Mostly it's just going to be carryovers from the previous watchers or whatnot. With Jujutsu Kaisen 0's movie, anybody could have watched it. It was a prequel thingy. It didn't really have anything to do with what's going on in the story right now. It made perfect sense for that to blow up, but considering we didn't see an increase on that, I'm willing to bet as well that Jujutsu Kaisen season 2, while it's going to be massive and while we'll see some sales, it won't really make the manga go all the way back up like it was doing, but only time will tell. Either way, it looks like Jujutsu Kaisen is finally, and I hate saying finally because it's not like we was waiting for it, but it is 100% definitely on the decline, and that could be attributing to why Gege Akutami is deciding to cancel it. Okay, next up, My Hero Academia fans. I dug into the crates and I found something that I think people are going to appreciate regarding news for the My Hero Academia anime. As it stands right now, the My Hero Academia anime is in season 6, midway through. We're at the second half at this particular point, and a lot of fans are like, okay, well, season 6, the first half, in terms of art and animation, aesthetically, it wasn't, you know, a home run per se. You didn't give us the greatest of greats, but it was okay-ish. Then you get season 6 part 2 with the opening and whatnot, and it leaves a lot of people like, wow, are they gonna really step it up with this one? Like, is this the part where they're gonna finally say, you know what, we're gonna throw in a whole bunch of Sakuga, we're gonna throw in a whole bunch of really pretty art? That's the possibility, because according to this, seems as though they got the talent to make some really nice stuff moving forward. It says Yoshihiko Umakoshi confirms he's in charge of the upcoming Todoroki family flashback, which is going to be a part of the anime. Now you're probably thinking, well, Fanev, who the hell is Yoshihiko Umakoshi that you can't even really pronounce off the top of your head? Who is that, and why should that matter? Well, according to this, it says he does the official art for My Hero Academia's promo posters and advertisements. He's also the reason anytime the characters look on model, manga accurate, clean looking lines, good composition. It's why Dabi looked so good during his identity reveal. So it seems as though at the very least with the flashback, 100% My Hero Academia Season 6 is going to go in. It's going to look proper. It's going to look the way you would expect. So definitely something to look out for. And even more so, yet again, it's like, well, this is one of the things I was saying anyway, right? Like, we need the talent of talent for this season. We need My Hero Academia. No, it doesn't just need, it deserves to get, you know, the talent, man. It deserves to have the right people working on it. So if they have this guy that he does the promo posters, which promo posters look, you know, gorgeous a lot of the times, and at the same time he's always on model with the characters, clean lines, good composition, that's a very good thing. And that's something to say, okay, you can expect for the remainder of this season of My Hero Academia, at the very least, to have some good looking stuff to a higher quality, because they got this dude working on it. So yeah, good news for the My Hero Academia anime for people that were like, the sky is too blue, I can't do it, it's terrible. Inside joke from my other channel, ForneverWorld. Go check it out if you haven't already. Subscribe, all that good stuff. Either way, My Hero Academia, it seems as though for the remainder of this anime, we've got some good stuff to look forward to, especially again the Todoroki flashback. Like, that's gonna be so good.
Lights be flashing and looking at me, such a odd unique, yet I'm so unique and you're looking at me. If the wolves could talk, they would probably repeat, and I'd probably say, bitch, get the fuck off me.